Today we're doing a little bit of a different kind of meal prep. Instead of prepping individual meals, we're gonna be prepping different components that we can throw together throughout the week. So I'm talking different protein sources, carb sources, and different sauces that you can combine to make an infinite amount of meals throughout the week. This prep should take you 1.5 to 2 hours maximum, and then I'm gonna show you how to combine it in different ways to make 7 different meals for yourself throughout the week, but really the possibilities are endless. Starting off with my shawarma tofu. This is one of my favorite tofu recipes because it is so jam-packed with flavor. You're first gonna rip your tofu into these little bite-sized chunks, but you don't wanna crumble it because that will make a lot of little pieces that will just burn in the oven. Then you're gonna add some soy sauce, tomato paste, olive oil, and a whole heap of spices. I'll put all the details down in the caption below. Some nutritional yeast and black pepper. Then you're just gonna mix that up very gently, being careful not to break it apart too much. Then just pop it on a baking sheet with some parchment paper and into the oven it goes. This is what it should look like when it's all done, but while that's in the oven, we're also gonna start on our roasted potatoes. So I like using these baby potatoes. I just think they taste way better than regular potatoes. I just slice them in half or in quarters depending on how big they are. You just want them to be all the same size. Then I'm just tossing in very simple olive oil and salt and into the oven until they are nice and golden brown. Then once they have cooled down a little bit, you're gonna transfer them into some containers and just store those until you're ready to enjoy. The main key for meal prepping to save time is to work on things simultaneously. So while that's in the oven, we're gonna start on the rest of our components, starting with this turmeric rice. You could just make this rice the day of whenever you want to enjoy it, but I like prepping it ahead of time just so it's really quick and easy to throw together a meal. So you're just gonna cook your rice with some turmeric, salt, and a little bit of black pepper. And once it's cooled down, you just transfer into these little 1-cup silicone molds and pop them into the freezer, and it is super easy to reheat them. I'll show you how to do that later in the video. Next, we're making the sauces for the week, starting with the pesto. Vegan pestos are so simple to make. You're obviously gonna need a ton of basil. I did a double batch here because I wanted a lot of pesto for the week, so I'm using 2 big plants or bunches of basil. I'm just washing that really well, then adding it to my blender. Then you're just gonna add in some fresh garlic, nutritional yeast in place of Parmesan cheese, olive oil, lemon juice, some walnuts. You could also use pine nuts here or cashews, and then some salt and pepper to taste. Then when you blend this up, you don't wanna pulverize it. You want to pulse it so that you still have all those textures and the nuts aren't completely broken down. You could just blend this into a sauce if you prefer that, but I like it when the pesto has a little bit of texture. Next, we'll make our healthy cashew garlic sauce. In my opinion, sauces are one of the most important components of a meal. I just think they can really make or break a meal, and this is one of my favorites. It's basically like a garlic sauce that you would find at a shawarma restaurant, but instead of being made from oil or eggs, it's made from cashew. So there's tons of healthy fats in there. I'll put all of the ingredients down in the description below, but you basically just put it all into a blender and blend until smooth. You want it to be pretty runny, just like this, because it will thicken up in the fridge. Now we're gonna make the second protein source, smoky crumbled tempeh. This is a very quick to make protein. You're just gonna start by putting some olive oil in a pan, then just crumble your tempeh into the pan. You could also leave it in bite-sized chunks if you prefer, but you basically just crumble it. I like to spread it out so it helps it get a nice golden color on it. Then you just add in some smoked paprika, some onion powder, soy sauce, a little bit of water, and also some maple syrup. Then you just mix it till it's all combined, let that cool, and then transfer it into a container. Next, we're gonna start on some quick pickled onions. I think pickled foods can really take a dish to the next level, so I do like incorporating pickled foods into my meals, and these are my super lazy way to make pickled onions. You literally just slice up your onions, put them in a container, and then push it down and cover it with white vinegar. That is it, and the next day, you're left with the most beautiful pink pickled onions. Now we are going to prep some of our lettuce so it is ready to go whenever we need it. I find that I am just so much more likely to eat my vegetables and eat lettuce and salads when everything is pre-washed. So the best way to do this is obviously wash it really, really well. Then you want to dry it really, really well, get a lot of that moisture out, and then store it in a container or a plastic bag with some paper towels. This is really going to help absorb all the moisture and prolong the life of your lettuce in the fridge. Next, we're going to make some tofu ricotta. This is mainly going to be used for breakfast for our caprese toast. All you need is some tofu, cashews, lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, garlic, salt, and some Italian seasonings. Then you just blend it up. You could also make a sweet version of this by just omitting the garlic and the Italian seasonings and the salt, and then just add some maple syrup to sweeten it up, maybe even some fresh berries. I'll leave the recipes for both the sweet and savory option down below. If you know me, we always have to have a sweet treat, so we're making tiramisu protein balls. This is the last component of our meal prep and another one of my no-bake, super simple high protein desserts. All you're gonna need is some medjool dates, oat flour, cocoa powder, and some chocolate protein powder. This one is my absolute favorite. It's from Veg Nutrition. It tastes so good. It's not chalky at all, and it gives everything like a chocolate milk flavor to it. I do have a discount code for 15% off of your entire order. I'll leave a link for them down in the description below. Then you're gonna add in your almond butter, 2 shots of very strong espresso with instant coffee mixed into it to make it even stronger, and a pinch of salt. Salt just makes any sweet treat pop that much more. Then you're gonna blend it up until your dough becomes a ball like this. That's how you know it's ready. Then you're just gonna divide your dough into however many balls you'd like. There are no rules here. And top it off with some melted vegan white chocolate. I like using the Enjoy Life brand. Then finish it off with a dusting of cocoa powder. Then just pop your protein balls into the fridge or freezer for the chocolate to set. And once the chocolate's set, you can transfer it over into a meal prep container and store it in the fridge for whenever you're ready to enjoy. Everything is prepped and ready to go. Now I'm gonna show you guys how I use all of these different components throughout the week to make different high protein meals. Starting off with our caprese toast. This is the main breakfast for the week. I'm using this ciabatta bread with some olives in it. I just think the olives complement the rest of the flavors so well. You're just gonna chop up some cherry tomatoes, and I'm gonna pipe the ricotta onto the bread. So I'm gonna put it in this plastic bag so I can pipe it out, but you could also just spread it out over your toast. I'm adding the vegan pesto on the bottom, piping over the ricotta, then adding the cherry tomatoes, balsamic glaze, and a little bit of fresh basil. You could also use your sweet ricotta here, put some nut butter on the bottom, and top it off with some berries. That would also be so delicious, and both options are super high in protein. Moving on to our lunch or dinner options, starting off with some potato nachos. You're first going to reheat your potatoes if you want. I'm putting them in the air fryer, but you could also reheat them in the microwave. And I'm also gonna reheat my smoky tempeh, but you could also use your tofu here as well. Then just spread out your potatoes onto a plate, top it off with your protein of choice, add some lettuce, pickled onions. I'm also adding some Kalamata olives that I had, and a little bit of that cashew garlic sauce as a drizzle on top. This is absolute heaven. Next, we're making my shawarma bowls. This is one of my all-time favorite meals. Now, to reheat the rice, you're just gonna pop your frozen rice into a bowl with a splash of water and place a damp paper towel over top. Then pop that in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes until it is broken up. Then I'm adding my shawarma tofu on top with another splash of water and popping that back into the microwave. This reheats the tofu and keeps it really moist, and it actually tastes just as fresh as it did the first day. Then I'm just making a little salad. I'm adding the pickled onions, tomatoes, pickles, and topping everything off with that garlic sauce and a little bit of Cholula. You guys, this literally tastes like a shawarma takeout bowl. I think it tastes even better than takeout. You guys have got to try this one. I have my little helper with me, and we're gonna make some pesto pasta, right? Oh, chicken. As a super simple protein source for this meal, I'm just using chickpea pasta, but you could use a white or whole wheat pasta and then just throw on some of those smoky tempeh crumbles or your tofu for protein if you want to do that instead. Then I'm just mixing in a healthy amount of the pesto sauce along with some reserved pasta water, which I actually forgot to reserve this time, but definitely mix that in. It really helps with the texture. I'm gonna serve this with a big side salad. So I'm using the ready chopped lettuce. This is why I love preparing this ahead of time, because all I have to do is throw this into a bowl. I like doing just a very simple vinaigrette of red wine vinegar and olive oil with a little bit of salt and pepper. Then I'm gonna put some pickled onions and chopped tomatoes on top, and that's it. I'm just topping my pesto pasta with some of my cashew Parmesan cheese, which I will leave for you guys in the description below, and a little bit of tomatoes, and that is it. A super simple, delicious, wholesome meal in less than 15 minutes. Another one of our all-time favorite meals are our Crunchwrap Supremes, and here I'm using the Tofu Shawarma as the protein source. Again, I'm just reheating it with a splash of water, paper towel on top, and popping that in the microwave to keep it nice and moist and fresh. Then I'm grabbing an extra large burrito, popping some vegan cheese on there, the tofu shawarma, then I'm placing a toasted tortilla on top as the tostada, going in with some of that cashew garlic sauce, and then popping on some lettuce, tomatoes, and one more small tortilla. Then you're just gonna fold up the sides, doing one corner at a time until all the sides are folded in. It should look like this. Then you're just gonna place the tortilla with the folded side down onto a pan that's heated with some olive oil, and then just cook it until both sides are golden and crispy, just like this. And it's ready to eat. I don't usually slice it in half. I just slice it so I could show you the deliciousness that is inside of this tortilla. Are you kidding me? It tastes as good as it looks, better than Taco Bell, 1000%. Now we're making a pesto nourish bowl. You're just gonna reheat your potatoes, then pop them into your bowl along with some lettuce. And I'm also adding some avocado for healthy fats. Then I'm putting some smoky tempeh crumbles on top, some pickled onions to go with the salad, and some hemp seeds for some more healthy fats. Then I'm drizzling over that pesto sauce. You could also use the cashew garlic sauce here as well, or instead of the pesto sauce. I'm just editing the video now, and I just realized that I forgot to show you guys the 7th meal, so my apologies for that. Honestly, I was just getting ready for Leo's birthday, and the whole week was a blur. That's gonna be my next YouTube video. But the last recipe I was gonna show you guys was a pasta with the ricotta in it. So you would just cook your pasta, add some broccoli to the water as the pasta cooks, put on your favorite tomato sauce, and then just put in the tofu ricotta, and then you like swirl it in, and it makes it really creamy and yummy and packs in a ton of protein. My apologies that I did not get to that, but I really just wanted to get this video out for you guys. And that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know if you guys like this kind of meal prep style. I'm not sure if I'm sold. I feel like I like the other style where everything's just in meal prep containers and you can just grab it and go. But I don't know, there is a lot more variety this way. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you like more of these, I can make more of these. If you like the other ones, I can do those. Happy to do anything you guys would like. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.